What up, Rap Leaders? Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing another outdoor video, talking to the camera today to answer a very simple question. So somebody asked me in the comments below whether Venezuela would invade Guyana. And it's a question I hesitated to answer because I didn't have enough information. But I think I got the final piece of the puzzle that lets me give you a sensible answer to this question. Will Venezuela invade Guyana? My answer is yes. There's a very strong likelihood that Venezuela will invade Guyana within the next 12 months. Perhaps sooner, perhaps later. And here is my reasoning. So, you have seen in some videos that I've made in the past where I show that the Guyana police force was rebranding some of their vehicles with the words Policia on them. They had taken off police and replaced it with Policia. The reason why they did that is that it was a political strategy. Yes guys, it was a political strategy by the PPP to win the support of Venezuelan migrants. So where am I getting this from? This is the new information that we've been treated to after a press conference by the Vice President, the General Secretary of the PPP. So it turns out that the strategy of the ruling government is to issue voter ID registration cards, that is national identity cards, to Venezuelan migrants who are returning Guyanese. So during the 1980s, a lot of Guyanese left Guyana and moved to Venezuela during those periods of economic crisis. And those Guyanese have been returning to Guyana along with other Venezuelan migrants in the last 2 years or so during the crisis that is unfolding in Venezuela. And the brilliant idea of the ruling party is that if you give these people Guyanese registration cards, identity cards, national identity cards, then they would be eligible to vote in the next elections. And the reasoning is given by the General Secretary of the PPP is that these people are Guyanese citizens. Now, there is some truth to that, but not all of them are Guyanese citizens. So it's a strategy. In his press conference, he says, well, if the opposition wants to win votes from these people, they should campaign for the votes of these Venezuelan migrants. So this is the strategy, right? So when they changed the branding of the police vehicles to Policia, this was part of a political strategy to win favor from Venezuelan migrants who have now returned to Guyana. So that is where this is coming from, guys. So why is this important? It's important because we've now played ourselves into the hands of Maduro. So Maduro is going to use the Russian playbook. How did Russia invade Ukraine? Russia held a referendum to determine if Russians wanted to invade Ukraine. And then after they invaded Ukraine, Putin held another referendum in the Donbass in which he asked Russian-speaking Ukrainians if they wanted to become part of Russia. And from that, the answer was always going to be yes, of course, because that election was rigged. From that, they proceeded to, according to Russia, legally claim Crimea and the Donbass. So that is a strategy, a well-known strategy. It's how the USA invaded and took over Hawaii, right? They invaded Hawaii ostensibly to protect American citizens. Russia invaded Ukraine to protect Russian-speaking citizens. And what we have done now is we've opened the door for Venezuela, for Maduro to invade Essequibo to protect Russian, Spanish-speaking Venezuelans in Essequibo. And then, of course, the playbook is clear. You ask these people if they want to be Venezuelans, if they want Essequibo to be part of Venezuela, and the answer is always going to be yes, because that is a rigged election. So that is the reasoning, guys. That is what I have now deduced from the press conference of the General Secretary of the ruling political party. So you ask me, how do I know this is true? This is in fact happening as we speak. Venezuela, that is Maduro, has scheduled a referendum on December the 3rd, 2023. That's a little less than a month from now, in which he's asking the Venezuelan people to vote about whether Essequibo is a part of Venezuela and whether in fact Essequibo should be annexed from Guyana. That election is happening on December 3rd, and we all know that that election is going to be rigged. The answer is predetermined. The answer is going to be yes. So to the answer to the question, guys, will Venezuela invade Guyana to annex Essequibo? My current answer is yes, because the playbook is clear. Maduro is telegraphing his strokes, and the current government has set us up for that to happen by in fact allowing an influx of Venezuelan migrants and granting them citizenship. So guys, that is the major development in the last 48 hours that I've deduced, and now I can answer that question in the affirmative. Venezuela will invade Guyana because that is the playbook. It's clear. The question is, what should we do? How should we prepare? In fact, Guyana could never win a war against Venezuela, especially with half of the country living abroad. And so in the coming few weeks, in the coming months, we will address the issue of how should Guyana and Guyanese prepare for a pending invasion of Venezuela. But that's where I am, guys. That's the news that I have. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. In the comments below, tell me what you think about this information, right? The fact that they've been rebranding police vehicles with the Spanish word for police, policia, and the fact that the vice president has now revealed the strategy to win the next election, that is to hold on to power, is to get votes from Venezuelans who are remigrating to Guyana. And that this in fact opens the door for Venezuela, that is Maduro, to use the Russian strategy, the Russian playbook that was used to invade Ukraine, to invade Guyana. That is the plan, guys. That is what's happening. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. If you're following this story, tell me what you think, what your understanding is with this new information. And if you're not following this story, I suggest you look up carefully the news that has been in the public domain about this situation, that is Venezuela's claim on Guyana, especially since Guyana has discovered oil. Guyana has now received 600 billion Guyana dollars, that is 3.057 billion US dollars from oil and gas. And now we're in a situation where Venezuela is claiming Essequibo in order to annex and therefore take control of Guyana's oil industry and Guyana's oil wells in the Atlantic Ocean. That's what's happening, guys. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Later!